Welcome to what's the show called?
Hello, welcome back to Shit They Don't Tell You. I'm Nikki Limo.
And hello, I am Crypto King Iceman. And today we are talking about, am I the asshole?
Yes, you are. I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
No, it's
We're
like,
talking to them about it?
No. It's like if somebody...
I didn't think you wanted to do it publicly.
No. Hold on. Mark, cut that because it makes it sound like she's calling me an
Steve's
asshole.
been a total fucking asshole. I'm so glad he wants to talk about it.
Mark, cut this.
Like, we just had our 10-year anniversary, and he wanted to watch the Colts.
Yeah, AFC Championship
practice. Game. Yeah,
practice.
Championship.
I do. I like to watch it.
He liked to watch replays of Colts games.
Yep.
I got nothing.
She said no, and she said no. So we're back to the drawing board over here, folks. But we'll figure it out hopefully in time.
He told me I went the wrong way on the okay. I'll tell you something. He was a pretty big asshole, and I accidentally hit part of a curb, but it was like sticking out a lot. And I was like, that curb's sticking out a lot. He's like, you fucked up. I'm like, but it was sticking out a lot.
In typical Nikki fashion.
He had the curbs back.
In typical Nikki fashion, she hits a curb and then she's like, why is that curb there? That's bullshit.
But listen, I don't dismiss responsibility that I kind of hit it a little bit, but also it was sticking out a lot.
Why is it sticking out so damn much? Exactly.
It was. You can see tire marks from other people who have also hit that curb.
You're the most absurd person in the world.
So he's an asshole. Yes, you are the asshole.
Okay, this is not about me being an asshole.
Oh shit, what is this episode about?
Indeed, this is about, we read about whether people are what people are going through, and we determine if they are assholes or not.
Oh.
Thank you. Okay, so check this one out. This one I have a personal connection to.
It was when you said it was my fault for hitting the curb?
It was. And that one's pretty clear.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for cooking food while my roommate's girlfriend was here and offering her some? Huh. So check this out. My mother raised me a certain way. I just can't make food around anybody without offering them some. It's impossible for me, personally. So I find this to be a good question.
Okay. Yeah, this just came up.
I, 21 male and from the South. I grew up in New Orleans and Texas. My mom runs a catering business, and the majority of clients were either at home in Louisiana or in Texas. I add to this to say that I grew up cooking and helping my mom cook for the business. I was frying chicken and catfish when I could reach the stove and making gumbo and buttermilk biscuits at a very young age. I'm currently in culinary school right now. I've lived in a rented house on the East Coast with my roommate, 22 male, for a year and a half. He's not a friend or anything. We just linked up because we both needed roommates in the area. He's good to live with, and we watch shows and movies together. We hang out and go for drinks sometimes. He's not a friend, though. I fucking love it. I always make friends easy because of being from the South and doing customer service related things since I was a kid. I know how to talk and charm and listen to folk despite being naturally more in the introverted spectrum. My roommate has been seeing his girlfriend for like 6 months. I've met her before and seen her in passing. Roommate and his girlfriend had a 2-week break from school thing. She still lives at her parents', so she decided to stay here for 2 whole weeks. I was just doing things as I normally would do. It got weird at first when I was about to go mow the lawn, and the roommate stopped me and said he wanted to go mow. I usually always mow. A couple days later, I'm outside washing the car, and I asked them both if they wanted me to wash their car. She looked at me like she was going to agree, but he looked at her angrily, so they declined.
He just wants to look cool in front of the girlfriend?
I don't know. Hold on.
Okay.
I cook pretty frequently at home as well, and usually let my roommate have some. So anytime I make some, I would say that they could have some, and this would get him pissed. Weeks prior, when she was here and we were all talking, she mentioned this specific kind of cheesecake that she really likes. So I made it.
Aww.
And sent out a group text that everyone could have it. My roommate got upset.
That's so sweet, though.
I don't see this as anything like overstepping a boundary, as this is how I treat him and all his guests. The other day, he told me how annoying it was to hear his girlfriend talk about how good your roommate can bake, how good your roommate can fresh bake bread.
He's just like so jealous because he hasn't developed any of his own skills. He's 22.
Yeah, he worded this poorly, by the way. But yeah, your roommate can make bread really well.
Yeah, the girlfriend's like, hey, your roommate's the shit at making food.
I'm not trying to make him look bad or anything. This is simply how I was raised. If I bake 2 loaves of bread, I'm going to leave it out for the house to eat. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he says that this blew up. Wow, I want to have a good roommate relationship. People are. What are your thoughts first?
I think that the roommate is just coming off as really jealous. And, you know, when you're 22 years old and you don't have a lot going on for you, like, you are going to feel insecure and feel like you're being outshined. But even though no one else is seeing it that way, it's just he's in his own head about it.
Yeah, there's something about.
And that's just an immature thing that hopefully he'll grow out of. I don't think anyone's the asshole per se. I just think this seems very immature. And like, honestly,
Dude, I'll never forget, like, during Valentine's Day, just me telling the guys, like, oh, yeah, I have to go get Nikki flowers and shit. And then they're like, what?
which by the way, you don't have to. It's
No,
just
you
a
don't
really
have to.
nice gesture.
But, like, then the guys are like, what? And I'm like, guys, it's the most bare minimum fucking thing you can do. It's not like I'm, like, breaking the fucking mold here. It's literally the most common thing that anyone buys for anybody is flowers for fucking Valentine's Day. But the JK boys are like, what?
Wow.
It's just fucking hilarious.
I mean, it could be like a card. You could like just something that's
anything.
It's like just an act of.
And I'm not saying that they were like, you're making us look like shit. I'm just saying it's just funny that sometimes there are people who are just doing their thing.
Yeah.
And then it looks a certain way to somebody else.
Like they're going to get compared to this person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this guy's obviously just insecure about his own station with this girl.
Of course.
It's a new relationship.
And he's very young.
Very young, very insecure. And so he's like, this guy's showing me up. I want to just be able to chill and do what I'm doing. And like, you know, somebody even says like, you know, OP's raising the bar, or original poster is raising the bar, and Mr. Bare Minimum doesn't like it one bit.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because it's also, she can see what else is out there. And it's like, ooh, I'm stuck with this guy that's not doing shit. You know, and who knows if she even thinks that. Like, I wouldn't think that. But, like, you know, he's thinking, I can't get away with doing the minimum.
It's also so inconsistent, too, because, like, you feed your roommate normally, like, when the chick's not around. Mm-hmm. But then when she's around, you're doing what you always do, and then the guy's getting pissed about it all of a sudden. Whereas normally he grabs a fucking fork.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Exactly. He just doesn't want it.
Bizarre.
I mean, normally he doesn't mow the lawn for shit. This guy mows the lawn.
Exactly.
So
now he wants to mow the lawn though because he's got his chick over.
Yeah, if anything, this guy is raising this OP is raising his roommate's standards.
Right.
But the roommate doesn't want it.
Roommate doesn't get it. Damn, dude, that's deep. That's a deep cut.
Also, if you have a roommate that's going to culinary school, that's a fucking win for. It's like a house perk. It's like an amenity that you can offer your girlfriend. Like, yeah, my roommate's going to culinary school and he frequently cooks and bakes things. Sick. We all get to partake in it.
Exactly. By the way, fresh. If you could make bread, ooh, you're doing good out there.
Remember last year when I did Tasty Tuesday? I came back and after like years long breaks,
you just did breads,
and I made bread for 4 weeks and then it disappeared.
Yep, that was fun. I like that.
It's fun.
Check this out. This one spoke to me as well. Am I the asshole for telling my friend that their baby's name sucks? So Jordan, 26, non-binary, and I, 26, female, do not mesh incredibly well together. We are part of the same friend group and are cordial with one another. Note that Jordan is not their birth name. They changed their name in adulthood and picked a common unisex name. Okay. They're pregnant and just announced the baby name to the group. Arsen Europa. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
Everyone else told them it was a great name. Not sure how many genuinely thought that.
Their baby Arson?
Arson. Arsyn.
Like lighting things on fire.
No, but like spelled like SYN. Like instead of SON. Just one letter off.
Okay.
From arson. Full-blown arson.
Got it.
Everyone told them it was a great name. Not sure how many were genuinely saying that. So I didn't want to rock the boat.
This really, like, if this Reddit blows up, like, they really pinpointed who they are.
Oh, yeah, that's 100% true. So maybe those people didn't want to rock the boat, right? But then, like, this person's like, yo, I just came out and said, please don't give a human being that name seriously. Which I think is good advice. I'm going to say that's good advice.
Okay.
Holy shit, of course it blew up into a big thing. And for the record, if this kid had the same name but was already born, I would have just kept my mouth shut about it. I only said it because there's still time for them to change their mind. Yeah, I agree. I said arson is such a stereotypical teenagery non-binary name. and adding the weird spelling just makes it worse. You're naming an actual person and should not just treat them like an accessory for yourself. It's weird to me that you picked a normal name for yourself, like Jordan, and then went out there for that name of the kid, like all the way out there on the limb.
Yeah.
It's not a good name. I can't pretend otherwise, and I'm sorry. Apparently, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's not my place to speak on such things, and I went too far and attacked not just the name of their parenthood, and not just the name, but their parenthood itself. I was way out of line. I agree that there was definitely a more Ms. Manners way of phrasing it, the way that I said it, but I think it needed to be said, or at least that I couldn't possibly have been expected to lie through my teeth that it was a good name. What do you think of this, Nikki?
Well, I mean, I don't think you should tell parents. In general, I don't think you should tell parents what to name their kid. So, like, it's really none of your business. I think that it's not really, like, it isn't really your place to say. And also, there's like 1,000 celebrities naming their kids Apple.
And guess what the first thing we all do is? We all fucking clown on it.
Yeah.
North, Blueberry. Someone named their kid Blueberry.
Sure, I bet that happened. Blanket.
Yeah, Blanket.
Like, okay, yeah. So, like, it sucks for the person being named that. And it absolutely is, like, the points that this person is making are valid. Like, the OP is making valid points that, like, you're kind of just naming an accessory and you're not thinking about how this is an actual human that's going to have to operate in society.
Exactly.
Okay, they're making valid points, but if you already don't get along with this person, like, people are going to receive your feedback based on how they feel about you as a person.
Right.
So if you're my worst enemy and we don't particularly get along and then you say that about my baby name, fuck you. But if you're like my best friend and you're like, I trust you and you're in the inner circle and you give me this feedback, I might consider. So the fact that you guys are already on shaky grounds, are not really a friend, I just don't think it's the OP's place to say at all.
I respect that opinion.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes if somebody's going to just say something to you, I don't see why you can't just like give your little feedback.
Because you don't always have to give your opinion, especially when like it's someone you're not super friends with. Like, if it's a good friend, I'll give you my honest opinion. But if it's not, then why do I need to rock the boat and make drama?
But let me put it like this. Anybody who names their kid Arson Europa is automatically an asshole.
Sure.
So I think that they're automatically just like heretofore the asshole.
But I just let everyone else can decide that. I don't have to say it. The truth does not need to be defended.
But the name of the game here is, am I the asshole?
Are you the asshole for thinking these things? No. Are you the asshole for saying these things to someone that you're not on really good terms with? Kinda.
Okay.
Like, if you don't want the drama, if you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. I mean, you don't have to go tell this person that you're not really friends with that their baby name.
Aren't you trying to save a baby from being named
Not really.
Arson Europa?
Do you really think that the OP is like trying to save this baby's name? No, she wants to make the person feel bad.
Oh.
Like, it's like you're not really trying to save the baby.
You think that maybe the phrasing of like, please don't give a human being that name?
Yeah. I mean, it's all objective anyway. It's all objective. Like, 90% of people probably think the name sucks, for sure. But it doesn't matter because it's an opinion. It's not like a solid fact that this is a bad name and I need to tell you that to save this baby's life.
But isn't it objectively a bad name, no matter who you are in any land or culture?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I see. Because, like, maybe if she's like they're having a baby, like in space, you name it that, or like maybe it's like the star of you're writing a science fiction movie, and like, oh yeah, you name it that. But like, this is gonna be a human being. Who's
I saw a meme the other day that was like a screenshot of a Facebook post, and the original comment was, Italian moms will literally be pregnant for 9 months just to name the baby Giuseppe. And then there's a comment right underneath from some guy named Giuseppe, like, fuck you. And like, to that person and a lot of people reading that maybe aren't in the culture, maybe they don't like the name Giuseppe. But there's a lot of fucking people named Giuseppe. And
Giuseppe doesn't bother me like Arson Europa.
Right, but like it's not up to you to be bothered. Like you're not the end all be all of deciding whose name sounds bad.
But if Arson Europa was like a blue Navi, then I'd be like, yeah, that works actually. That
blue Navi?
Yeah, like an Avatars, right? If you were an Avatars.
Sure, well, because Europa is the name of one of Jupiter's moons.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but they don't have to always go by
See, now we
their
agree.
full name. Also, you can always change your name. This guy Jordan, or this person non-binary
Yeah.
Jordan, changed their name to Jordan.
Right.
So like you can always change your name if you, as the baby, you become a little older and you're like, hey, I fucking hate my name. You can just change it.
Jordan's one of the better both names, I think.
Yeah, I like that name.
This next one is, am I the asshole for counting down the days until my daughter turns 18 so I can stop being legally responsible for her? So I married my wife about 2 years ago, and she has a daughter from a previous relationship. Early on, during our dating period, she made it clear that her daughter has a father and she's not looking for another father for her. The ground rules were set by her that I will be an adult figure and not a parental one. I will have no say in how she's brought up and can't punish her in any way. Considering she was 14 when her mom and I met and 15 when we married, I agreed to her rules. My thinking is that she's already too old for me to make any difference in her life, so why make it an issue? Fast forward a couple years, and my life has been a nightmare. The girl constantly gets into trouble, has been kicked out of several schools. She also lived with her father at the time. She had to move in with us so she could attend a new high school in order to graduate. She's been suspended several times at this high school, but it looks like she'll graduate on time. While living with us, she's gotten into 2 car accidents, once when she was drunk, and we had to remortgage our house to pay for her attorney's fees and legal bills. The judge dressed us down in court for not being better parents. Jesus. I'm not a legal expert at all, but from movies and shows, I know that judges can jail you for arguing, so I bit my tongue and took it. It was humiliating. The girl's a couple months away from being an adult, and this weekend I was out with the guys and she came up in conversation. I complained about how much money I've spent bailing her out of trouble and that I can't wait until she turns 18 so she can face her own consequences. Well, word got back to my wife and she blew her freaking top. I still don't think I said anything wrong, but I'm staying in the motel tonight. I want to be clear, we're not kicking her out, and considering she doesn't work, she'll be living with us for a while. I'm just waiting for the day she's an adult so I won't be yelled at by any more judges.
I don't think that's an asshole thing.
Yeah, I don't get that at all.
I mean, it's obviously a troubled teenager. So, like, the teenager needs help. Maybe a therapist or something.
If you are going to be paying for shit for this person, but then you don't get to have feedback in anything that's going on, they live in your house, how does that work?
I don't know. I don't deal with that.
Like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Like, how could somebody, like, just be cool with that? Like, the mom, you know, someone says that the mom obviously wants to have her cake and eat it too, which I think is a pretty accurate summation of what's going on here.
Sure.
But yeah, you're putting up with all this shit. You're selling stuff to make sure that she gets bailed out of court. You're showing up for court to begin with, but it's not your kid.
Yep.
Yeah, don't get this one at all. Definitely not the asshole. And also, like, that, you didn't really get with the gem, did you? All right, this next one is, am I the asshole for saying I told you so to my friend after her boss is being weird now that she has told them she's pregnant? So a close friend of mine, Mary, is 3 months pregnant. I'm very excited for her and looking forward to being an auntie to her child. However, I did warn her that since she has a promotion expected to come in the next 2 to 3 months, she should not tell her supervisor or bosses that she's pregnant until the latest possible time required in her contract, which would be 7 months. Anyway, she told her supervisor. He asked when she's going to tell the boss, and she admitted to him that she wants her promotion and raise, so she's not saying anything until later. This was on Friday.
Why did she tell the supervisor that?
She told me this weekend. She told me this at the weekend, and I told her she was foolish to mention it and that she would find her promotion becoming tenuous and maybe wouldn't get good work.
Yeah.
So this morning,
That she fucked up.
apparently her supervisor asked her when she's going to tell their boss again. Supervisor said he needs to be able to hold interviews to replace her ASAP, and that she also got removed from a long-term matter that she was working on the last 2 months.
Yeah.
She called me to complain and ask for advice. And while I did listen to her, I also said, well, I fucking told you to expect this. If you said something, so I'm not sure what you want from me. Mary got super mad and called me a shitty friend.
What?
And said I should be sympathetic to her instead of telling her off and making her feel worse. Am I the asshole?
Well, you're not the asshole because, like, you're just saying it how it is, but she's also pregnant and, like, has hormones going, and sometimes women go for comfort and their person wants to fix things. I know this is just a friend, but
Yeah.
is it a male or female?
They didn't say.
Okay, because, I mean, like, it sounds like I mean, if it's, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
basically, you're just like, you're keeping it in the emotionally detached, like, well, what do you want? That's what I said. And maybe she just wants someone to sympathize with her that she just lost a promotion because she fucked up. Like, does she know she fucked up? Because it sounds like she does know that she.
You think she's just excited to tell everybody? Like, she's like that kind of person?
Or what
she's
kind
like,
of person?
Just like, I'm so excited I got pregnant and I want to tell everybody about it kind of thing.
I don't know. I mean, like, it sounds like she hasn't told anyone, really.
But, like, why would she tell her supervisors what I'm thinking? Like, was she just telling them out of joy or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they have, like, a closer work relationship, closer than she thought that they had, you know?
Maybe.
But, yeah, definitely wasn't smart to tell anybody at work that.
Because my whole thing, like, if you're going to, this happens to me many times, by the way. If you're going to ask me for advice, like in the first place, and then you buck my advice, and then you come at me for a second round of advice, I have a right to be upset about you not taking the advice, especially because it was going to be beneficial to you.
Yeah.
In the situation. And now you just dug us deeper in the ground we're trying to keep from getting into.
Well, it sounds like this last time she just wanted sympathy, is what they said in the post.
But you got to just say that then, I think, sometimes, because it's like, what the fuck, bro?
It sounds like that's what they said. Like, hey,
no, she said she called me to complain and for advice. And while I did listen
and for
to her,
advice.
Yeah. So then it's like, great, you want another round of advice, but you just dug us deeper in this hole.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. She did that, but I don't know. It's kind of a whole like stupid situation because it shouldn't be this way in the first place. Like, in society, that she has to worry about that just for being pregnant.
Absolutely.
You know? So it all sucks.
But but I also sympathize, like, if you have someone on a long-term project and they are going to get pregnant and have to deal with all that stuff, you should take them off the long-term project. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you need to have people who are going to be there for it.
Yeah.
So I get both sides of it. I really do.
I guess the communication's lacking, though.
Definitely.
But she's not communicating honestly to her boss either, so.
Correct.
I don't know. I mean, at this point, cat's out of the bag. Supervisor probably already told the boss, or is like, supervisor sounds like they're getting a little antsy because they need to fill the spot and they can't do it until she tells the main boss.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, who's the asshole? No one's the asshole.
I agree with you. It's tough. I mean, the asshole thing is just that, you know, that this pregnant lady has to worry about this shit. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks. I also think that, like, obviously someone even mentions, like, hey, you know, getting HR involved would probably be the move here because, like, how can, like, the fact that this person knew, don't tell them you're pregnant because you could end up having your promotion get fucked with is a fucked up thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I'd say that person's not the asshole at all. Good advice all around.
We're going to go on a break. When we come back, we're going to find out if more people are the assholes or not. I'm still in the camp that Steve is the asshole.
I am. No. That's not what this episode's about.
But let me know in the comments.
No.
Also, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/sticky, STIKKI. We do live streams every month. Our one is coming up soon. Oh, actually, by the time this comes out,
it will be up.
Well, it will be up again. Like, we'll be up for the next month. True. So, yay, check it out just in time. Also, we do a free roll poker tournament. Steve does Crypto Corner every Tuesday.
7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Things
we
going
go deep on crypto, baby.
We also release these episodes a day early. So, come check it out. It really helps the show. And sharing the show with your friends also helps the show. So, do that too. And we will be right back.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. We just want to take a break to tell you to, like, thanks for listening to our podcast. And if you want to rate it, that would be really awesome for us. Like,
listen, we're on break. We're not talking to you like podcast hosts right now. We're just talking to you like people.
As a friend.
And we just want to say, please rate the show because it helps out huge amounts.
Like, we're not desperate. We're, like, kind of desperate.
We're giving shout outs right now to all the people who are giving it ratings. So, huge shout out right now to Brian Jorgensen. That was sick of you, dude. Thank you. God bless. Huge shout out right now to Mark W. in Springfield, Connecticut.
Back to our podcast.
Jenny Blyke.
Hey, back to our podcast.
In Tuscany,
and
Florida.
Back to our podcast.
God bless you. Thank you.
Steven.
Thank you for supporting the show. And welcome back. And we hope that you bought whatever we told you to buy. So, am I the asshole for saying my in-laws treat me like a live-in maid and wanting to move out? I, female 26, and husband, male 27, live with his parents. His father had some health issues and needed some care, and we agreed to move in and help out. Father-in-law is generally doing better now, but there's still some things he can't do anymore that my husband now does instead. We discussed moving out. I want to, but my in-laws are very resistant to the idea, stating that there's plenty of room here and they don't know what they do without us, etc. While we don't pay his parents to live here, their decision, we pay for groceries for everyone and several household bills, including electricity and internet and TV packages. The house is mortgage-free, by the way. I also do all the household cleaning and cooking. I arrange and take all their pets to veterinary appointments. I do work from home, and this is easier for me, and I'm able to be more flexible. We also pay half of any house modifications or upgrades, as it'll be your house one day, is the argument. Recently, I've begun to feel resentful of the fact that once they are all done with work, they can come home and relax while I finish work and have to cook and clean and have no help. On the weekends, I spend half the day cleaning the house while they do what they want. This all came to a head last week. I was really unwell. I felt the worst I've ever felt and wanted nothing more than to sleep. However, once it got around to dinner time, I was woken up by the mother-in-law to ask when I was getting up to make dinner.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want to cause an argument, so I just got up and made dinner for them. But as I was in the kitchen struggling not to pass out, the three of them sat watching a movie and waiting for me to bring them their food.
Oh my God.
I didn't say anything at first. I waited until my husband... This woman's definitely the asshole, by the way. I didn't say anything at first. I waited for my husband, and I waited until we were alone to bring up my concerns with the lack of help. My husband apologized and offered to help more, which I accepted. But the next day was an exact repeat.
Yikes.
I had to drag myself out of bed to cook, and once I'd bring in their food, my mother-in-law says, "Oh, you look truly awful. Poor you. Oh, by the way, later would you mind giving everywhere an extra clean? I don't want to get whatever you have."
Oh God.
At which point I accused them of treating them like a live-in maid and not caring about me outside the services I provide for them.
Holy shit.
I pointed out that I wouldn't be in the communal areas if I hadn't been dragged out to cook, and that they could have handled one meal themselves. My husband sat there in silence.
No.
He thinks I should have brought it up more carefully at a time when I wasn't so emotional. I agree that I probably should have, but I was sick and stressed.
Yeah.
I want to move out, but husband and in-laws are still against it. No shit.
I don't care.
Nothing has changed with what they expect from me. I got no apologies, just silent treatment from mother-in-law for a couple of days.
No.
So am I the asshole?
No. Not only are you not the asshole, but like get the fuck out of there.
Out of there, bro.
Holy shit.
Break up. Hit the break up button, Mark.
That is crazy.
Hit the break up button, Mark.
And the fact that the husband just sat there and like didn't defend her.
That is just the most bonkers part of this.
Yeah, and they all watched a movie while she was sick and cooked. And then the mom's like, "Can you just clean a little bit more because you're sick?" And I don't want to catch that. No, this is bananas.
It's bananas and bonkers at the same time. It's bonkers.
Bonkers.
How can anybody, any self-respecting dude, just sit there while your chick is sick as fuck and doing everything?
No, not okay with this.
That's disgusting.
And she works on top of that.
And she gets punished with the silent treatment?
Yeah.
She gets punished with silent treatment?
Oh my gosh.
I'd be out of there, brother.
No.
Gone. Dunzo. Oh man, the wrath.
Yikes. And they're paying for half the groceries. Like it doesn't sound like they're getting any sort of deal. Oh yeah, we don't have to pay rent. Okay, well you would gladly pay rent to get out of that situation.
Good Lord, exactly. This chick's a gem, by the way.
Yeah. That's wild.
She's in a situation, she's coming through for the family and nobody's coming through for her.
The parents are getting free hospice care.
Exactly.
They're getting a free maid, a free chef.
And they're asking for more, for extras.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Wild.
And she doesn't sound like the type who had brought it up even before. Just insane. That one really infuriated me.
Yeah, that's pretty infuriating. The comments are all like, "Get the fuck out!" Right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a unanimous one, but it got me going.
Yeah, that enrages me too.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my in-laws to come on vacation with me? I've been with my partner for 4 years. He has 2 kids with his ex-wife. I have no kids. Don't plan to have any. Our household income is okay. He earns the majority of it. He earns 65% of the total income. For the last 4 years, he has insisted we pay 50-50 into household bills, despite the fact he earns far more than what I earn, and his kids stay with us regularly. I pay half the rent, bills, and grocery, which is expensive for someone on my salary. He wants to buy a house near his ex-wife so he can be closer to his kids, so he says. So it's important that I pick up 50% of the costs now, so that allows him to save more of his money for our future. The money he isn't paying into bills goes straight into his own savings account, not a joint one. He does not really acknowledge that he has underpaid the bills the last 4 years. I've calculated he's underpaid between $16,000 to $19,000.
Whoa.
And they put the pounds thing, so I think it's in pounds.
Okay.
When he first moved in without his kids, I picked up all the bills. I paid out over $8,000 in rent and bills. He paid around $1,100 towards food. Not long ago, he asked if I wanted to go away for the following weekend. I said sure, and we talked about where we could go. He then went to visit his parents, and later that evening he messaged me an Airbnb link for a lodge by the beach to visit that weekend. He asked if his family could come and said he'd pay more than 50% if I agreed to them coming. I don't have any family, plus his mom and dad have beat cancer recently. I said yes to his folks and grown-up brother coming and booked and paid for the Airbnb. A few days ago, he wanted to settle the vacation bill and has offered to pay 60% of the total. I've kicked off, stating the obvious. There were 7 people in that lodge, and 6 of them were his family. My portion of the bill is 15%.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No. What?
Isn't this insane?
It's so crazy.
And somebody says, you realize he's not going to put your name on that house, right?
Exactly.
Like when he buys the house, it's going to be his house.
I don't get how people can do this. I have such a guilty conscience if I
Me too.
I can't charge people for anything. I'm like, oh, go above and beyond to cover for people.
Same.
I don't get how people can just be so well, this is fair, right?
They're
and
so
it's clearly not fair.
Yeah. It's slimy, man.
Yikes.
It's so slimy. Yeah, this one, another one that enraged me. Definitely not the asshole.
When family gets involved, though, it's like it puts blinders on the person.
Right.
On the other person. Whoever's family is involved, it puts blinders on them.
Yeah. Now, this one's tough because it's so sensitive.
Yeah.
Family stuff is so sensitive.
It is.
So saying that, those interactions that I had with your family, that was you. Mm-hmm. That was all on you. Mm-hmm. Because it is we are interacting. When I'm with your family, it feels like it's my family.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like...
Well, this girl's not married to him. She's not married. They don't share a bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I'm dating you, it's completely different.
Completely different. Exactly.
I don't know if you're going to leave me tomorrow.
Exactly. Only if I win the lottery.
Oh, yeah. But then I get a lot of... You already fucked up and married me. So.
But I didn't tell you I won the lottery. That's how I get you. That's how I get
So you love lawsuits later. Put them for later.
No,
okay.
I don't love lawsuits. Okay, check this out. So similar vein, but always a question that I've had because we've had friends who've done this, and I'm always curious about how people feel about this. Am I the asshole for going on vacation but leaving my kids with my husband? Okay.
Wait, okay. Like a girls' trip?
Almost like a girls' trip, yeah. So my husband and I, 37 female, 34 male, have 2 kids, 7 female, 5 male. Who gives a shit? Last year, me and some of my friends planned a girls' trip to New York, which is coming up soon. It's not a particularly long trip, only 6 days, including our travel.
6 days is pretty long.
It's long. But we've all been really looking forward to it. Kids would be staying with my husband at home. He has a surgery coming up, which is the day after I get back, not while I'm away. He's now asking if I could postpone the trip to stay with him and the kids. He's tired and needs the support. I replied that this was planned a long time ago and not everyone can postpone. My husband got pretty upset and is kind of tuned out, not paying much attention to me. I did tell a couple of my family members what was going on, and my sister said I was being kind of selfish. This one's a little more
Yeah. Does this come up before? Or you're just curious about what everyone thinks? This is
curious about what everyone thinks.
I mean, look, you're in your 30s and you're in your mid 30s and you have a family and your husband needs you and you want to gallivant for a week in New York with some girlfriends. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a huge bitch. But I just think that
that's the right thing to do.
The family takes priority.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, like, yeah, maybe you were looking forward to it, this trip with your girlfriends, but it's not like someone's getting married. It's not like, there's an event that you're missing. It's just like you going on a week vacation with your friends. Like, yeah, okay, sucks to miss this vacation, but like, there's an understanding there and you'll catch the next one. I mean, you won't be happy canceling it, but I think the right thing to do is to be there for your family.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I wouldn't even question it.
But isn't this guy kind of being a bitch, though?
See, I need more context on why he's asking her to cancel this trip.
Yeah.
Because if it's like, look, like the doctors told me I can't eat for 48 hours or whatever before my surgery, and then you're not here for blah, 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 and I have to take care of 2 kids. Like, I don't know, maybe there's some circumstances around that, but if he's just asking her to cancel it for no reason, he's kind of being an asshole.
Yeah, so apparently there has been context about this. The husband is getting a lymphadenectomy, which has to do with removal of cancer.
Okay.
So
he has cancer.
He has cancer.
Okay.
And she wants to go on a girls' trip, though.
I'll never be able to understand the thinking behind this. I just won't. I just can't. I can't understand it. I didn't grow up with like a group of girlfriends who we all went on trips together. Like, I have a cousin who has had the same group of girlfriends since she was in junior high, and like they do everything together. She goes out every weekend with them, and like they just do everything together. So they're like a little family, right? And so I feel like every boyfriend that's come into the picture comes second to that family.
Right.
I have never had that or been like that, so I can't get in the mindset of this group of girls being more important than my significant other.
Doesn't she need girl time?
I never do, so I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
I've had a few girlfriends that were really close, and they're super understanding to any circumstance. We can always reschedule. We're not going anywhere.
Very true.
So,
do you ever been like around a group of girls though, and you feel like the little girl power battery getting recharged?
Not personally, but I know people that do.
Okay, I gotcha. I
know people that really need their girl time. So, like, I don't know. It's a different personality type than what I have. I'm an INFJ. I'm an introvert by nature. I need like 3 days to recharge, but in complete aloneness, like complete solace, without any partner or anything. Like no Steve, nothing. Yeah. Like I just like to be like alone for like days. So, and that's how I recharge, and then I come back out, and I'm super excited to be alive. And
the no Steve part always hurts. Always hurts.
I mean, Steve can be there in and out, but like for the most part, he's like just doing crypto anyway.
Always hurts.
Shut up! You're so stupid.
Okay. This next one is: am I the asshole for expecting to be invited to the wedding? So I had a friend from a previous job get engaged and asked me for a favor. I left that previous job to work at an upscale hotel. She asked me to get her and her bridesmaids discounted hotel rooms, and I was able to swing about 10 suites for a very decent price compared to what they would normally sell for. Now, her and I weren't as close since I left the previous job we both worked at, but we would text frequently. We just couldn't see each other due to conflicting work schedules, and the timeline was honestly pretty rushed. She was engaged and was soon to be married less than 2 months later. The whole thing was expedited since her fiancé was in the military and soon to be on deployment. The way she said it is she couldn't accompany him unless they were married.
I see.
Her and I were talking, and I had to ask her what the theme was for the wedding so I knew what to wear. She awkwardly said I wasn't invited.
Ooh.
I was surprised I wasn't invited out of at least courtesy for doing her a favor with the wedding block. She said she just couldn't afford to include anyone else. It wasn't a small venue either. Her invite list alone, not including the grooms, was over 100 people, varying from close family, friends, and very distant relatives. I let her know I didn't understand, since it was such a large, lavish event, how she couldn't squeeze one more person. Ooh, don't say that.
Oh, that's cringe.
Oh, don't say that. That's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, why did you say that? She said it was impossible and that they were at the top of their budget. I said it.
This is a cringe conversation.
Get ready. Oh, okay. I said if that was the case, they would need to find other accommodations for the wedding, as I was giving them an extreme discounted rate due to our
so
friendship.
it's super transactional. Okay. I get why you're not invited, girl.
It's because you're weird. You don't know you're weird, but you're weird.
Yeah.
You don't know how weird you are.
Honestly, it's the bride's fault for asking you for a favor.
Yeah, true.
But like,
True.
this is really fucking cringe.
Now the bridesmaids are calling me the asshole for canceling their rooms.
Yeah, you're the asshole for sure.
And they canceled the block since they weren't invited. They actually canceled it.
The OP.
The OP actually canceled it.
Yeah, I get why you weren't invited. That's so gross.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been invited.
Yeah,
at all.
that you're the asshole 1000%.
I wouldn't invite you to a Chuck E. Cheese birthday party for a 5-year-old.
I don't think you have any friends
No.
that aren't transactional.
Correct.
Like at first, I was like so with the OP.
Me too.
Like I was like, damn, this bride really like used this poor person. They used you because we had a really long list of friends
Yes.
that we couldn't invite like to our wedding because we were like we
Trying
didn't
to cover
have
family shit.
We didn't have a budget and like 90 people were from our family and then we could only do 120 people and so a lot of people didn't get invited and a lot of people were butthurt.
Yeah.
And honestly, we feel like it would have been way better if we could have invited everyone. Like I wanted to invite everybody. So like
Me too, but I had to invite a bunch of my family who didn't show up at all.
didn't show up at all. And that
bums.
sucks.
Never forgot. I
But
never will.
like if people were if there was like someone doing a favor like that, of course they'd be invited. Of course, like you'd have a place. It's like $150 a person is like the average cost of a wedding guest list or whatever, depending on how fancy the venue is. But like, of course they would have had an invite. But then you do that and that's like, well, you're not really a friend then. You're not a friend or an acquaintance. That's crazy. That's some fucking serial killer behavior.
So, you and I are saying you are the asshole, right?
The OP is the asshole.
OP's the asshole.
Yeah. For that last bit.
People are saying that they are not the asshole because random people don't get to use your work benefits for a discount.
That's true.
Friends and family, sure, but she made sure that you knew that you weren't in her top 100 friends. That's kind of an extreme statement.
That is an extreme
That's
statement.
not all friends there, dude. Family is a huge fucking number. You don't know how many
Also,
friends.
if someone asks you for a favor, you can just say no.
Exactly.
You can just say no. Like, so, yeah, it's fucked up. Like, okay, this person's using me for this favor and I'm not really that good of friends with them. Okay, like, so no. Like, no, I'm not going to give you this favor. But once you agree to the favor, like, it shouldn't be conditional. Like, unless you worked out those conditions.
I agree.
If she was like, hey, if I do you this solid, could I get an invite to the wedding? Like, if she said that from the beginning, then that's an agreement that they have.
Yeah.
But she didn't say that. So, like, now it sucks. Like, yeah, the bride would have been the asshole had you not made this so cringe
weird.
and then canceled their wedding bookings.
But I do think that if the bride was like straight up, like very upfront, like, hey, look, I'm on a budget.
Yeah.
I can't even invite you to this fucking wedding. But I would love it if you could help me, like, just get all this shit for my family, right?
Yeah, I'll save you some cake or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or just something like something. But yeah, this is...
arguing why the person should have the budget to invite you to their wedding.
Insanity.
Is wild.
Genuinely insanity.
Yeah, I was on the bride is the asshole up until this last bit of conversation and the ending.
Yeah, when you are... I don't know, dude. Like... There's something to be said about just doing someone a favor.
Or keeping your integrity no matter what the circumstances are.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If someone blew me off like that, I'd forever in my mind remember, like, they were kind of that was a dick move. Like, they used me for my work benefits and then they didn't invite me to their wedding and that was a fucking dick move. I could keep my integrity intact knowing I fulfilled my end of the agreement. But I'll never forget what you did to me.
But also, like, dude, folks, hot tip out there. When somebody says they're not invited to something or something, don't try to logic with them about why you're not invited. Oh, that's so cringy.
It's
oh, no.
so cringy.
It's so bad. Like, if you ask a girl out and then she's like, oh, sorry, I'm busy that night. And then, like, you see her in public or some shit. And like, oh, I thought you're busy. Oh, I thought you're busy. You're not busy. Then it's like, holy shit,
It's so
dude.
cringy.
You're so cringy, dude. Put your head all the way under the blankets.
Yeah.
Like, that is so bad.
Yikesies.
Okay, yikesies, midikesies. Okay, last one. Am I the asshole if I take down my fence to force my neighbor to replace it?
What?
Yeah, this I like because it's kind of petty. My fence needed to be replaced 8 years ago. I asked each of the neighbors if they wanted to chip in to replace the fence along their side of the property. All the neighbors declined, so I replaced the fence on my own. One neighbor has their swimming pool right up against the fence. Code says it must be 4 feet from the property line, by the way. From all the splashing, the fence near the pool rotted out. The neighbor asked me if I was going to fix it, and I said no, it's just going to rot out again. They then asked me if I would chip in to replace the fence along our shared property line. I said no. I paid for the fence in full last time that it needed to be replaced. They continued to ask me 5 more times, and I said, I'm sorry, it's just not in my budget this year. Yesterday, the neighbor had a contractor cut out a piece of my fence and replaced it by putting a bunch of scrap wood on my side of the fence and drilling screws into it. Most of the screws are now sticking out on my side of the fence. They also broke away a lot of the rotted wood and left rusty nails sticking out on my side of the fence.
What are these neighbors doing?
On top of that, they threw all of the fence that they removed into my yard.
What the heck? How are people this rude?
So they say, what about if I remove the fence and force them to put up their own fence, and since they have a pool and are legally required to have a fence? And then also as an aside, I've been clearing her snow for free over the last 8 years because she's widowed. I do this for all the single mothers, widows, and elderly people on the block. A little bit of a character profile for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I don't think... Okay, I don't know. I think it's better if you just have communication.
I agree.
I think that's the least asshole way to go.
Yeah, I agree.
I know what she did was pretty assholey, but I think
Definitely
communicate that first, and then maybe tell her, talk about you shovel her snow, talk about how the pool is should be 4 feet from the fence and how it violates code. Talk about that stuff before just destroying the fence and forcing someone to pay for it.
And also putting the scrap on your side, that's just,
it's rude.
You're a douchebag.
Yeah, that's why I would tell her that that's fucking rude.
Yeah, that's real bad. I think for me, it's should they replace the fence? I would replace the fence, and then I would never talk to this neighbor again.
Well, the problem is if he replaces the fence, then it's just going to rot again.
True.
Like it did with last time because of her pool.
Yes, true.
So, I would not replace the fence with my own money again and pay for it in full. She wanted to chip in for it, but I already paid for it last time. Your turn. Hey, your turn to pay.
And then never shovel your snow ever again.
And also, I would kindly let her know that it would be a shame for this code violation to be reported to somebody.
Let's go. There's my wife. Let's go.
Yeah, it would be a terrible shame. So I'm glad we're having this conversation. So to prevent such a terrible shame.
That's such a good piece of advice right there.
Okay, toodles.
Toodles. Hey, how much money would that be to move your whole fucking pool?
Yeah.
Got to move your whole pool?
Wouldn't want anyone to know about that. So maybe just fix up that fence there.
Maybe just make my fence look better. Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, so I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. I don't think that, I think communication is always best.
Communication is always the best. I completely agree. And yeah, look, that's all the time we have for today.
Let us know in the comments if you thought our assessments of who was and wasn't the asshole is correct and why or why not.
Yes.
Sometimes I miss little details that later people point out. There was one time we did an Am I the Asshole, and apparently a kid got hit and I totally missed that part. So if I missed the part, if we missed a part in there, point that out.
You were definitely the asshole in that one.
Definitely the asshole. Not listening correctly.
Yeah, for sure.
But for the most part, I think we got it dead freaking on.
I do too.
So
I feel really good about my answers in this one.
Fight me in the comments.
Yeah.
I will fight you back, and hopefully you're having a pleasant day. And it'd be a real shame for anyone to find out that your pool is close to my fence.
It's not up to code there, brother.
It's not really up to code. So make sure
that's going to cost you.
To choose your comments wisely.
Now you got to fill your pool in partially, and you got to replaster it, repaint it, reconcrete it. Ooh.
Kind of expensive.
Refill it. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you just fix my fence, and I'm never shoveling your fucking snow again. You better hope it never snows again, bitch.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, bye. See you next week.